Okay, you should be on handout 5. We're skipping number 4. So scientific notation. We're just going to do the basics of this, but you will use it some in science and especially in 8th grade science. Ninth grade science. So scientific notation is basically a shorthand way of writing really big or really small numbers. So it's kind of like a shortcut. So scientific notation is written as a product. And remember, that means when you multiply, right? So you might want to write that if you need to, of 2 numbers. So the first number must be between 1 and 10. And the second number must be a power of 10. And that would, a power of 10 is like 10, 100, 1,000. Okay. So when we convert to standard, which is like just a regular number, so a really, really big number, a really, really small number, like a decimal point with a bunch of zeros and numbers, and to make it in a scientific notation, first we create a number between 1 and 10 by moving the decimal. And this will make sense when we go to do it. And actually, we'll just kind of do it with number 1 down here. So we have this number, okay, 1,850,000. That's not really a really large number, but it is. And we're going to make it by moving the decimal because we know the decimal's at the end. And we're going to move it so that the number starts with 1 or between 1 and 10. So we need to move it back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. And so we're going to count the number of times that we moved it, which was 6. I'm going to put right here. And this number will be our power of 10. So if your number is greater than 1, the exponent's going to be positive, which is what we just did. And if the number is less than 1, like a decimal, our exponent's going to be negative. So for number 1, we moved it back. And so the decimal point is now between the 1 and the 8 to make it 1.85. We have to put all the numbers after that until you get to the zeros. And then times 10 to the 6th power. Because if you remember, we moved it back 6 spaces. You can also count the numbers that would be after the decimal. Okay, so if you try number 2, we have the decimal points here. So you can draw your little loop-de-loops, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you just know there's 3 numbers and another number because we need the decimal point to be right here because 4.2 is between 1 and 10. And then it's times the power of 10, so it's 10 to the 4th power. Okay, then we have numbers that are less than 1. Less than 1, so smaller numbers. So the decimal point's here, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3 to get it between the 7 and the 8. And so we have 7.8, and we have to write every number after it because this number now is between 1 and 10. And then it's times 10. Since it was a decimal number, it's going to be negative, and we moved it 3 spaces. That should be a little 3. Next one. And then, so if you notice, from where the decimal point is over to the 7, there's 3 numbers. So on this one, we need to move it way over here to the end after 1. And so there's going to be 5 numbers here. So it's going to be 1 times 10 to the negative 5th. Okay, and then if we go on to the back, so now we're going the opposite way. We're going to move the decimal the same number of places as the exponent. So this is if we would have scientific notation, making it into a regular number. So if the exponent is positive, we're going to move the decimal to the right. in order to make the number larger. And then you always add zeros as placeholders if you need to. If the exponent is negative, just kind of like on a number line, we're going to go to the left towards the negative numbers in order to make the number smaller. And again, we can add zeros if we need to. So let's try number 5. So we start with the decimal point here, and if you need to draw the loops, you can. So we go 1, 2 to the end of 3. And then I know that I need 5 more to get to the exponent of 7. So I just go like this. So I moved it once and twice, so I ended up out here. And then I need to go there. So there's 2, and then I need to go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to use our commas after every third number. Or you can draw the loops up here on this number, whatever works for you. But we moved the decimal point from here all the way to down here now. Okay, now we're going to do this one. Go ahead and pause if you would like to see if you can do it on your own. So we have 2, and then the decimal point is going to, there's moving it once to the end of 5, 2, 3, 4. So we have 25,000. Okay, and with the negative numbers, so if it's negative, we know we're going to make a decimal number. So we're moving it 6 spots. So here's once, moves to the end. So what I do is I go ahead and write those numbers down. So now I know I've moved it once. And then I go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And make sure you put the decimal. And you can put a 0 there if you want. And we don't use commas on those. Okay. The decimal point, if we don't see it, it's on the end. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So we're going to fill in 2 spaces. And we can put that 0 there if we need to. Okay, so you complete the missing blanks and then see if they match what I have. Okay, go ahead and pause it if you need to check your answers. That's a 6. And this is a times sign. Make sure you have the negative sign or the negative on that. And then this should have 5 zeros. Because wait a minute here, 1, 2, 3. That's not right. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yes, should have 6 zeros. Because we were right here on the 6, and then we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I miscounted 7. My bad. So that decimal should not be there. It should be here. So we'll see if you were listening. It's important to do homework 5 with this.